Welcome to the Release Your Blocks podcast. I am your host, Victoria Bond. I am a spiritual empowerment coach. I help teach others to show up to their potency so they can fulfill their mission here on earth. I'm so glad you are here. And if you are interested in becoming a medium, if you're interested in becoming a life coach, or if you're interested in shifting your life from the 3D to live more in the 5D reality, then check me out, book a clarity call, and let's get chatting. Hey everybody, welcome to Release Your Blocks podcast. Today I have my special guest who is a dear friend of mine, and we actually work together as well. So that's really exciting. So welcome, Hayley Benseman. I'm so excited that you're here.
Woohoo! Thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be invited and be a part of what you're creating.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So excited. And I just have to say happy birthday because it is your birthday today and you are and you're a guest on a podcast. Like, how does it get any better than that? And I know our audience can't see this right now, but Hayley is actually sitting in her little, what would you call it?
I call it
her workshop. Yes. And the reason why she's sitting in her workshop is because Hayley Bensimon is actually the name of her brand as well, of her beautiful Mindful Skincare. So it's a beautiful skincare range where she's actually created her own products here in New Zealand, and they go out all around the world. And she is currently in her workshop. So I can see a whole lot of different equipment where you create your gorgeous skincare. So the interesting thing is, Hayley and I, our first point of touch together, I suppose, because we live in the same town, was 2 years ago. Her friend, one of her best friends, came in and had a session with me and said, hey, can I buy a voucher? It's my best friend's birthday. And I want to give her a voucher because I think you two would hit it off. So that is exactly how we came together, because 2 years ago, someone gave you a voucher to come and see me. I'm like, what? How does it get any better than that? So you didn't even realize that when I told you that before. And you were like, has it been 2 years? It feels like forever. And the reason why it feels like forever is because ever since we have had our first session, both of our businesses have exploded.
Mm-hmm. Hugely exploded, man. And totally, I bounce off you hard because your energy is wild. So it's like, you've definitely contributed to that. But we've both chugged along and made something amazing out of something small. So yeah, it's 2 years. That's why I'm in shock.
And Hayley, you're when I first met you, I know we've had a few really deep soul alignment sessions, and I've learned just as much from you as a beautiful business entrepreneur. I've learned as much from you, but when we were actually working together and we were talking about this mindfulness and this spiritual alignment and all these things, and you realize that you had a whole lot of superpowers and intuitive gifts, like you are next level gifted. That's when the mindful came in. That's when the chakra colors came into your branding and stuff. So can you tell me a little bit about where you began and that transition from the Hayley Bensimon product with your gorgeous essential oils? I know you've done, essential oils, all this aromatherapy training, all that type of stuff. But how you went from that to transition into the mindful, because I saw that all happen and it was amazing.
And that was because of you. So yeah, I guess I don't even know where to begin. Before I saw you, my business was at a stage where I was doing okay and people loved the products. I loved what I'd put out. But I was at this point where I'm like, but what next? What is missing from this? Something's missing from this. And I guess it was just a huge fear for me, because what I was bringing to the table for everybody was amazing, but it wasn't 100% me. It was like, when you go out and you meet a group of girls and you kind of put on the face that they're going to accept, and you talk the way that they're going to like, and you dress the way that that they're going to like, just so you fit in, right? That sums up a huge part of my life, is always trying to fit in and be the person that other people wanted. And I think the scariest thing in business and in life is to go, oh, who am I? Like, what do I love? What rings true for me? And flowing that into a business is even scarier, because that's your baby and that's your money maker. You know, you rely on that money and you've put out something already that people are buying. How do I then go the next day and go, okay, actually, this is me. Like, this is actually who I am, and this is the way we're going to go now, guys. So either take it or not. It's like, so yeah, I was at this sort of stale point where I didn't really know what to do. And I didn't know really who I was until I met you, and we unlocked all of these doors and all of these things that I needed to face. And that was that point where I went, oh, this is why I'm creating skincare. It's mindful. It's like, it's everything that rings true for me. And now let's step on and change it into mindful skincare, and actually don't care what anyone says about it, because this is who I am. And I hope you love it. And wow, everybody loves it. But yeah, it was just so scary. But that was the transitional point, was actually accepting who I was, and then it flew into the brand.
Beautiful. And I actually noticed with you, Hayley, and I'm sure I've told you this, maybe I haven't, but when we were having sessions together, and I mean, I am your biggest fan. I have, like I just said, I've got a bowl of your oil here on my desk. I use your cleanser, I use your moisturizer, I use your lip balm, I use your face, I use everything. Let's not go into the list. There's quite a few things, and they're all for really, really goodly priced, like, and they're natural, and I just love it, right? It's really down my alley. I'm into natural products. And what I noticed was, when we were having our sessions, I was like, your product is so, so good, but what is this missing key? What is this missing piece? And it wasn't what you were doing, which was all that I do the business stuff here and doing all the things that you were supposed to do. Exactly. It was this element of your superpower. And I remember saying to you, Hayley, your products are healing. When your products are on me, I feel your essence. When I am having a bath and I put some of the massage oil in there, I'm like, all your bath bombs. I mean, literally, I'm like a Hayley Bensimon, slut, really, like, with your products. And when I'm using this, I feel it, and I feel the love. It's just like when someone cooks food, if you go to a really nice restaurant, that those chefs have got a knack because they're putting in their energy. But if you go somewhere else where they're going to slap it on, you're like, oh, the difference in the taste if someone's made with love or not. And it's the same with your products. So that when you put your mindfulness in, which was already there, but when you put in your magic, you are healing people on like an energetic and cellular level with this product. Now, a lot of people might not know what I'm talking about, but for those who are into energy healing, they understand that we have this Reiki energy, right? Naturally, we have it without even having attunements. We have this ability to harness, energy from the earth and from the universe. And that's exactly what you were doing. And this little missing piece was simply the awareness of how potent you were. Yes, and you started unlocking that and realizing that you had these gifts, and that you were like, I'm going to change my branding, and it's going to be bright and colorful. And I want everybody, when they use my product, to feel divine, this divine feminine. And you went on this journey of self-discovery, really, of who you are, because you've been a mum since you were quite young. You've got 3 kids. And how old is your eldest?
Hunter's 13, which is weirding me out. Izzy's 11 and Livy is 6. So I found out I was pregnant. It was 2 weeks before my 21st birthday, and that was a big shock. So I didn't even know who I was at that point, and I've only just found out who I really am, within the last couple of years, because I got so lost within all that.
Busy girl, 3 kids, and a thriving business, and then having the courage to go, you know what, I'm going to dive deep into me unapologetically and find out, I love this business, but what is that missing key? And now that you've infused that and you've come out of the closet, so to speak, like, your brand was amazing. It was fantastic. It was perfect. But the Hayley I saw was a Hayley of, what do I have to do? And then you asked the right question, and then you came back to you, and now the mindfulness and the healing abilities you said to me, I said, is it a mindful skincare business or a range? And you said it's a mindful skincare. What was the word that you said? Experience, was it?
Yeah, I can't even remember.
Is it like an experience because it's more than just a product?
Yeah. So for me, it's really important. So, I was a young mum and there was no money and there was no time and no self-love. So that's why I was saying I was so lost for so many years, because I wasn't looking after me, right? And I always yearned for really nice, beautiful products to make me feel feminine, make me connect with myself, but I wasn't. And that's why I created this brand to begin with. It was giving myself that missing thing. And stepping into the mindful branding was going, that's why I created it, was so that whenever I put on my face cream, oh my God, like this feels amazing. I'm touching my face. It's silky, it's smooth, it smells beautiful. God, I feel good. And I can do that within 5 minutes, then get to the kids' dinner and then go and do everything else. But for that 5 minutes, I was deeply connecting with myself, whether I knew it or not at the time, but I was. And so, now I provide that for women all over New Zealand, and I'm trying to get them to connect with themselves mindfully. So it means so much to me. And it's just so exciting that now that I've stepped into it 100%, and like you say, unapologetically, it's like, this is me. Everybody's just loving it. And it's that energy. So I'm stronger in energy when I own who I am. And that's just fusing through the products, fusing through social media and emails and everybody I come into contact with, because I feel so powerful right now and they love it and I love it. So, go win-win.
And it's beautiful because what you're showing your children as well is as powerful, mum-entrepreneurs, however they say that, we can literally be entrepreneurs, live on purpose, create a mission, like know our mission, know our message. And, the thing that we have in common is I started out wanting to help mums big time because I had a mental breakdown, basically, but at the same time, a spiritual awakening. And I really wanted to help people that are going through these spiritual awakenings, because we're in 2021 while we're recording this, and everyone's waking up, or they're not choosing to. And having a product that, I know this sounds crazy, and it's not because I'm trying to advertise you here, but this is because I legit feel this way. Having a product where I just got some of your oil before and I put it on my hands. I do this in my calls, and I've got, tons of programs, all these things. Using this product literally makes you stop and come back to present moment. And that is exactly what mindfulness is about. So I think the name, you nailed the name. I love that the branding is Hayley Benseman, because I love your name. And it's so funny because we'll be in the bath and my kids are in the bath. I always have a bottle of your oil, and it would be like, can you pass me the Hayley Bensimon cleanser? Can you pass me that little bottle there, Hayley Bensimon? And it's like, I'm always talking about you to everybody. And I'm like, it's so clever using your name as well. Like, it's just so amazing. What I love about you as well is your awareness and the allowance of yourself to grow. Now, you unlocked yourself. Like, I know that we have been working together a lot, but you unlocked yourself by using a lot of choice. The choice of investing in yourself, from that little tiny bottle that you first created for yourself because you felt overwhelmed. You were a young mom with 3 kids, or whatever, but you were still young, and you wanted to create a business. And it was never about creating millions of money. It was simply about helping other people out, other young mums that didn't have the money. So what I love is the price point. It is ridiculously affordable, especially for the healing that people get alongside cleansing their face. But not only that, it came from a heart space. And I know that is your drive, is that heart space. And not only are you showing all mums and all children and everybody that they can succeed in their mission with their message, you're being authentic. And I think that is, there's being authentic, and then there's being truly unapologetically authentic. That's a difference between where you were. You were always authentic. You were always, this is me. but you were scared of
Yeah,
exploding.
Oh, very scared. I think it's so easy to want things, but then be so scared that you stop yourself along the way.
What were you scared of?
Being scared, actually being scared of being successful, but that's what I wanted. Actually being scared of saying, because I've always wanted to help people, but then getting in that position where they're relying, or not relying on me, but feeling like I'm going to let them down or I'm going to fail. So these are all just my projection on myself. Those were the things that were stopping me. And so I had to let those go, they're all demons, and move past that to be able to do what I want to do and give people what I want to give them. But yeah, so much fear, and it was all in and around myself. It's sad, but we're a product of our making a lot of the time. 1980s baby, you get brought up a certain way with certain parents and other people. We are, tall poppy syndrome, always cutting each other down, and there's a lot of negative things of the you get faced when you're a kid. So yeah, working through all of that was huge, and really important.
And also being successful means we have to work hard. And that's what I remember about you. You're like, oh, need to take some time out, because there was this this underlying, and this is for everyone. It's like the collective, like you're talking about 1980s babies, all that type of stuff, but it's also the collective. It's a tall poppy, especially in New Zealand and Australia. I've experienced that, and I've talked to you about that, and we're friends as well. And we've talked about people, trying to cut us down, and we're trying to make sense of that, because we just don't do that. We're here to raise each other up as women, as entrepreneurs. And but I remember you saying, like, oh my God, like, can I handle more? And the thing is, I remember saying to you, Hayley, it doesn't have to be hard. What if it could get easier and easier and more money came in? And what if you did, a few other things? And I remember you going, oh, okay, because we've been programmed to think that the harder we work, the more successful we'll be. And you've watched me grow over the last year massively, and I've worked less and made way more. So we have these interesting points of view. And the thing is, your business has exploded. It is definitely has. You're in a workshop right now. You're like, people are taking you on in their businesses, like they're taking on your product to sell. It's incredible. So when you've added this mindfulness in and you've done this inner kind of awareness, have you noticed that you've calmed down and expanded your container?
Yeah, I love that you can work less and earn more. I was never thinking like that. I was like, the harder I earn, I need to work so many hours a day to be able to earn that dollar per hour. It's crazy. So as soon as I let that go and just go, actually, I'm producing mindful skincare. I'm promoting people to look after themselves. I do need to look after myself more. How does that look? That means working less. And that means earning more money and doing what I love. Because I think if I carried on the way I was, I would have burnt out. Like, I'm managing, so I'm work. But I need to rest. Kind of forgotten what we've been talking about. But yeah, just definitely looking after myself and stepping back. And I think surrendering was a big word that we talked about. Surrendering to it and just going, there is a destiny and a path for me. And I just need to trust that if I'm authentically myself and unapologetically authentically myself, it's all going to fall into place. And it's funny because I find myself a lot of the time, I drop back into that work, stress, frustration. Whenever I'm in that, I go, oh, I've done it again. Okay, step back, go on holiday, go away for the weekend. And while I'm doing that and fully enjoying life and fully enjoying myself, that's when things click. That's when things come. And I'm like, oh, did I just need to chill out and be me and have fun for things to work out? Oh, great. And it's everything you've said. It's just amazing.
It was a different paradigm. We're going from 3D to 5D. And if you're in a holistic business or in a business at all, if you're living here on planet Earth right now, it's the same rules. You can function from the hard slog. You can create, arguments. Like we've talked about this as well with relationships. Like we were both brought up with big families. and we both had, I would say we weren't from rich families. I would say, we had what we needed, but there was definitely, for me, there wasn't overflow for sure. So as business owners and mums and wives and friends and daughters and all these different things, we do stay small, but we are destined for greatness. And we stay small because we don't want to make other people feel uncomfortable. So we do this thing, and we talked about this the other day when we went for a walk, about creating drama. We go to explode, and we create a whole lot of chaos before we explode in the most incredible way. But then we also create drama after the explosion, because we go, I can't believe that I can be this happy. No.
Yeah.
And I do this with my husband. I'll be like, we will start fighting, and we look at each other and go, we've been together for 20 years and we don't fight. Why are we fighting right now? And then we realize, I just had a 10K day, or I had a 40K month. So, hang on a minute, I can't be this happy. So when we can actually see these unconscious behaviors, which are patterns, and it's only been 2 years where both of us have exploded our businesses. So we're still kind of, in baby stages of really, but it also goes to show that you can do this fast.
Yeah.
Because both of us feel like different people. Our husbands are both extremely happy now. Our children. What
a difference. Like, let's touch on that for a second, because wow, like,
let's talk about your husband. Let's talk about him for a second. Let's see what difference, because this is so good for our audience, because we've worked on ourselves, we've worked together, we've explored ourselves, we have stepped forward into the vortex of the 5D and shifted that paradigm of working hard to go, fuck this, I'm going to be me. The scary thing is doing that, because you think, how's this going to affect my husband and my children and my friends and my family if I become rich, if I become happy? What's going to happen? And what happened for you?
Wow, man, what a massive life-changing experience for all of us, for our whole family, and for the kids, and for Dan. Oh my God, we are like the happiest that we have ever been. We are so in love. We want to hang out as friends, like it's and at one point, I have to be honest, it was about 3 years ago, we were very close to getting divorced. We were at our most unhappiest. He was, I don't want to get into it too much about him, but he was really depressed, and we had lots of bad things happen. So the toughest time of our marriage was then. And I knew from that point on that I really needed to make massive changes for me in the face of that. So going, okay, he's unhappy, I can't fix him. I've been trying to fix him for 7 years. Like, and then going, it's not my job to fix him. If he can't do it himself, I'm not going to be able to do it. So what can I control? I need to look after me, because if I can't fix me, I'm not going to be there for the kids. I'm not going to be able to look after them through this divorce. Like, it was so serious, and not a lot of people know that. And I had to run the business through it as well. So holy shit. And so I made a decision that, you know what, I need to find myself as a woman again, or even find myself as a woman to begin with, because, I've always had the kids young, so I'd never had that chance to come into myself at any stage. So going, all right, I'm going to have to be really selfish, because this is what people are scared to do, is go, I'm going to do this for me, regardless of my husband, regardless of my kids, regardless of what my friends have to say or my business. I'm going to focus on me. I'm the most important. And you told me that. You're like, you're at the top of the pyramid. And I'm like, what? No, I can't be up there. And making the changes for me, and really finding out what I loved in life. And it was the simple things, but it was things for me, not for anybody else. And so as soon as I stepped into that, my kids were happy, because they're like, oh my God, Mum's happy. Oh, and she's happy, and we're going to have hugs, and we're going to hang out, and it's not going to be all bitter and fighting all the time. And then as soon as I made that change, I flowed friends better, gathered around myself people that were actually going to build me up instead of pull me down, because I was like, actually, you're not good for me. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to just be quite selective with the people that I hang out with. And so it was the friends, it was doing things for myself. And then everything just kept flowing. And when you step into that, you just do it more because it feels so good. And then all of a sudden, Dan starts pulling himself up and going, shit, she's really happy. The way that I talk has changed. So I'm not so bitter. I've let things go. So I'm more open and loving and feminine and caring. He's going, oh, you know, I want a bit of that. I want to be there more for the family. And so he's just gone through this self-discovery journey. And now we're out there together. So it's like, wow, massive change. But it all started with me being, look, my fingers are in the air, quotation, selfish. I don't care. Everybody needs to do it. Because if I didn't do that, we would have been divorced. The kids would have had a split home. I probably would have had to give the business up and work for somebody else to pay the bills. Unhappy life journey ahead of us. So I stopped and I looked after me first. And now look at us. Amazing.
Huge. Because, you know, I remember saying to you in a session as well, and that whole, you know, being selfish thing, because that's what I did as well. So that's what I teach. And I said, your husband, because I'm a medium, of course, I can read people really well. And I was like, he's super duper 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 gifted. And if you choose you, he is gonna rise, you know, he's gonna rise as well. And that's what happened. And that's because that's what happened with me as well. And back then we both didn't know what human design was, of course. So we've only really been dabbling with that in the last kind of, 6 months to a year. And the interesting thing is, you're a Mani-Gen, you've got projector, you've got so your husband and another 2 children are projectors, and you've got a reflector. So your husband being a projector, he basically can read you like a book. So he's going to change, he's going to shift, and he did, and he found his dream job. And so it's just such a gift, and to be able to see that it all started within your soul, within your heart, accepting yourself for who you are, not who you have to be. That is the most unselfish thing you can ever do, is by choosing yourself. Exactly. So I think that is absolutely beautiful. And I know for me as well, I said I'm choosing myself, and whether that meant divorce, whether that meant me losing everything, I didn't care. Because it sounds crazy. Of course, I'd fight for my family, but I knew that I was drowning, and I knew that I couldn't do what I was doing. I was hiding. And, when we're hiding, we're drowning, because we're functioning from the external, not the internal. So that goes for Victoria Bond, my brand, and Hayley Benseman. We could be thriving. I could have my hair salon still. You could still have your Hayley Bensimon, like just the way it was. And we'd get along. We'd get it. It'd happen, where our relationships might be okay, but are they going to be phenomenal? Are they going to be epic? Both of us love to have a drink just to shut our brains down, so we could go and you just stop drinking. You're like, nah, I'm not doing that, because this is an awareness, and I need to be aware and an allowance of this magnificent life. So hearing that you and Dan are in love, that he is thriving, that your children are thriving, that you tap into your divine feminine, that your business is cranking. This is all signs of huge alignment.
More aligned than I was aligned when I was a kid, right? We talk about that. Because that's all you know, that's who you are. You're just yourself before you're broken down by everything else, circumstances and people, and yourself. So the first time I've been properly aligned since I was a young kid, and we can all do it. But as you say, when you're drowning, it's like, gosh, you just don't know where to start. It's just the small things, for sure.
And I've got this interesting point of view that you and I will probably both like, okay, this is the level of happiness that we're allowed to have, because we're looking around at the collective, at our friends, at our family, at society. And we're going, okay, so this is kind of, where we fit in this happiness bubble, right? So because we've all been conditioned and programmed, obviously, by other people's points of views. But it's not until we have an invitation from somebody else, like a coach or, friends or mentors or whatever, where we go, hang on, how much happiness can I really have? How much can I really handle? Am I allowed to be in love, to have money, to have a fantastic body, to be in ease, and to have time with my kids, pick them up from school, drop them off, and make fuckloads of money? Am I allowed to do all of that? Because if you look at the external, it doesn't seem like we can.
Most people you would say that to, they're like, there's something in them that just goes, it just kind of shrivels a little. They're just like, how? I'm not allowed that. But working with you, I know I'm 100%. I shout it to everybody. You can have whatever you want. Live your dreams. You can live in abundance. You can earn shitloads of money and go and do whatever you love to do. Like I live that all the time now because I know, well, why not? Because I'm the only one stopping myself. But more people need to wake the fuck up. We need to shake them up because we can all have that. Why can't we? And I learned that from you. You're the amazing teacher.
It was just a little invitation. You're the one who, now I have taught thousands, like I have talked to thousands and thousands of people about this. Not everyone is ready to hear it. So it's like, I can't take the credit for that because a lot of people have come and had sessions with me, but you really went, whoa, okay, I'm going to go let that land and see what else is possible. So utilizing the tools and stuff like that, is huge. And you decided to open your eyes and to see what was around you, to be in that gratitude and to say, hang on a minute, I went into mindful skincare because I was a young mom who wanted to feel divine and feel incredible. And I desire other people to have that experience. And along that way, you woke up to another level. You woke up to joy and expansiveness and to realize that we don't have to fit in to what the society's collective norm is. And we can have all these things. Now, for me, my husband quit his day job and he now works in my business for me, doing all my tech stuff. So I work half the amount of time I used to work. I do what I love, like podcast interviews and trainings. And he is so happy. He's going hunting for 4 days tonight, and it's his third time he's gone hunting this year, and it's only March.
Oh my
and
gosh.
I'm just like, he's like, oh my God, without you. We just bought a steppy, a little steppy. He was like a couple of $1,000s. I bought my laptop, which was a few $1,000s, and all of the stuff we've just paid for up front. And this was never been our reality because just like you and Dan, we've been together from when we were really, really young. We were like 16, 17. We were broke most of our lives until a couple of years ago where we've gone, actually, I think we're allowed to have money and joy and happiness in a new house. And what do we want? So now we just get it. And, anywhere that we have a point of view that to have money, you have to be an arsehole or work too hard. I think a lot of that, moving that out, because Hayley Bensimon, I remember saying to you, you've got $1 million brand, if not more.
I remember when you said that and I was like, just that whole shrinking, like I was saying, when you just can't imagine it to be true. I remember
work to do that.
Oh, how many hours is that going to take? I remember you saying that. And then you're like, how much would you like to earn next year? This figure, and I was all feeling uncomfortable because I was like, I can't imagine, allowing myself to earn that much. So that was money was a huge barrier to get over. And as soon as I leapt over that and just was like, you know what, throw the money at me, bring it to me because I'm going to welcome it and I'm going to be grateful for it and I'm going to use it really well. That's when it started flowing. But the initial time when you see that, I was like, oh, there's just no way. What? Me? Not me. But no, for sure. And why not?
And we have to remember that money doesn't just come from the work. Money comes from everywhere. People start working with me and they'll be like, literally get checks in the mail. I know that sounds so cliche, like everyone's always like, and they did the money work and the checks came in the mail. But that actually happened. This chick was like, you're not going to believe this. A check came in the mail. And I was like, do checks even exist? And like money will just start coming and, the perfect workshop will show up and then the perfect person, and I know something that you don't know that I know, but the perfect person will come on and say, can I help you in your business? So like the outsourcing starts to happen with ease. It starts happening with ease, and all of a sudden the perfect people start showing up and people will just go, oh, I want to buy your brand. And I know something exciting about us that's happened is let's have a talk about your signature product. Let's talk about that.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this came. Oh, well, maybe you want to talk about it first, but this came about when we did light language. So we called it the Hayley special, I think, when I'd come to see you, we'd chat and then I'd lie down and I'd just be open to whatever experience. And
it was definitely guided. So with Hayley, it was never like, she's like, just hit me. And I'd be like, are you ready for it all? Knowing that she's a manifest generator, like most people can't handle as much as I give Hayley. But in this particular session, oh my God, I think there was like bars and Reiki, and I used my wand. There was light language. There was, I don't even know what happened, mediumship. It was all in this one vortex of amazingness.
Insane. I was crying through the whole thing. It was, whoa. Okay, where do I start? So I really want to talk about this. So I was lying there and we're done whatever. I wasn't even sure. I can't remember. But I remember you saying at one point, okay, are you sure? You weren't talking to me. All right, Hayley, yeah, you open for something crazy. I'm like, yeah, mate, for sure. Just do it. And then you're like, okay, light language. I didn't even know what that was. I mean, I've Googled it since it's happened. So I'm a person where unless something happens to me, I don't believe it. Well, not until recently anyway. So something has to happen to me. I really have to get it or see it or feel it or experience it.
Evidence.
I need the evidence. Yeah, I'm a bit of a scientist like that. And so, up until that, if somebody had said light language is a thing, I would have gone, okay, that's great. Or just wait and see.
I'm the same, exactly the same.
And so, and then all of a sudden we had this light language experience, and I was just, I don't know, it was this full of love, and I was surrounded by love. Like, I'm a person who lives for love. I was surrounded with layers and layers and layers, and all this emotion came to me, and you were doing your thing. It was off the chain crazy. I won't even get into it, but it was just such an amazing thing that I can't even really describe. So you have to see Victoria for light language, because it's going to change your life. It's going to change everything. Anyway, so we had this awesome consultation, light language, soul retrieval, all these things happen. And obviously crying. And then I left, and when I went home, and then I don't know what it was that happened in that consultation, but I felt like me again for the first time in years and years and years. Like, I felt like
soul retrieval. The soul retrieval is calling back your soul. We did implant removal, which is removing any implants. So when you mentioned those demons before, removing all of that stuff that stops you from exploding. And then the light languages was actually activating you and your codes and your cells and your DNA. You've got your hand over your mouth right now.
I just want to spew always. So I can't even put it into words. So let me try. From that point on, every doubt that I had, so I had this, we were in lockdown, COVID lockdown, and I got quite depressed. It was like week 4 in lockdown. Everything was too much. I couldn't work. I needed my creativity. The kids were around me too much. Like, I need my space. I'm quite a solo person. It was just too much. And so at the time, I was studying for aroma science, and I was like, you know what, I'm desperate for something. I need to save myself here, because I don't know how long this lockdown is going to go for, we were lucky in New Zealand, it wasn't as long as other countries, but I was just at a point of desperation. So I started specifically researching antidepressant essential oils, really deep diving into the oils that I was studying for all their chemical components, and finding my blend, which I ended up calling it that, an oil that is actually going to do something. It wasn't for anybody else. It was just for me, to help me, because I was so low. Even the kids were looking at me going, what's wrong? And I'm like, I don't know. I just can't function. So I set to a task of making this oil, and I started using it, and I don't know, it just worked. Like, I know essential oils, they have different effects on your physicality, on your emotional. There's scientific studies to back up, the effects essential oils have on your body. But this specific blend really, really, really was effective in quite a quick amount of time. And so, I made it, and it's called My Blend. And I wasn't going to sell it until I started gifting it to a few other people that I saw were struggling. And I'm like, Hayley, you have to sell this. I'm like, all that self-doubt, it's an aromatherapy blend, like I don't do that, or all those silly things. And then I saw Victoria for the session, and then we had all of that craziness happen that I was just talking about, the light language, the soul retrieval. And then as soon as I got home, it was like all the doubt had gone. I'm going to make that product, and I'm going to sell that product, and I know that's going to help thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And there was just like no, it was like, yeah, so 100% yes. Like I was going to do this product, and I jumped on straight away, getting everything prepped for it. The jars were ordered, the labels were designed, investing money that I probably didn't have, because I just knew that this was going to be something big, something that was actually going to help a lot of people in a time when the world is in this crazy space of fear, because there's so much fear everywhere, all this COVID stuff. But we're in a huge awakening right now. And I think if people are open to experiencing different types of holistic healing practices, like what you offer and like what I offer with aromatherapy, if they can just open themselves up to using things like this, then it can help change them and help guide them and
help support.
And help support, that's the word, sorry. Yeah, help support them. Because it's, it's not a one fix all, but it definitely takes the job.
Crystals and oils and mindfulness, and that's, what you're about. And I just want to read this bottle because it's in my hand. I've been smelling it the whole time. Hayley Bensimon, My Blend, an uplifting aromatherapy blend to promote happiness and well-being, embracing and soulful. Breathe, relax, smile. It's 50 mils. There is some beautiful, beautiful oils in there, like sandalwood. There's a ton of stuff. There's grapefruit and sunflower and lavender and all these beautiful things. It's got a very earthy smell to it as well. And I remember you saying to me, Hayley, oh my God, guess what, Victoria? Like, it's just random. Like, you're like, I've created this oil, and this was before you decided to smell it. And you said, I think I should make you up some of the blend so you can smell it as well. I'm really loving it. And I remember going, oh, that's cool. And I think that might have been before our session. So you were actually playing with oils, and you even may have messaged me that. And you were so freaking excited. And I was like, awesome, because I love your products, of course.
Yeah.
And then you gave me a bottle for Christmas, and you were like, I have to let you know that this came through. Like, this really eventuated after you channeled the light language. Like, you channeled this.
Yeah.
So when you told me that, I was like, no way. And then you go, hey, Vic, I was just thinking, you've got magnificent mediumship, right? And I love to give gifts. I love to give something. And you said, how do you feel about giving everybody one of these oils? Because this oil was channeled by having a session with you. I can't take credit for the oil because I didn't create it, you did. But of course, us together as that kind of playing with the light language and light beings, really. This is a galactic freaking oil, people. This is a galactic oil. You should call it the galactic oil. No. And I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. So yesterday I sent out the My Blend oil to all of the people who, so it's going to be, I should get them all to take a photo because magnificent mediumship. So I sent that out to a whole lot of people. I even sent some to the UK and to Australia. So it's going out everywhere. And also for my new 6-month program, which is mediumship mastery. So 6 months of really diving deep into deep stuff. Everyone's got a pack of cards and also this My Blend. So I'm going to see people shift. They're going to shift because this oil, like you say, it's not everything, but I really feel like that having an oil like this can transform the mind, body, and the soul, because you're smelling it, you're stopping, you're activating. What does it say? Breathe, relax, and smile. If you do all of those things and you can smell, and I know essential oils, not like you, because I haven't studied it, but I'm really into them. And what I know about them is they do have a massive effect on the brain and the body.
Oh, hugely. So a lot of the products that you buy, they're made for putting on your skin, right? So you're buying it to get your skin a certain way. Well, these products and this product specifically, is for smelling. So it's not even for applying. You do apply it on the body to smell it, but it's solely the inhalation of the essential oils. So you actually have, there's these fine little cilia hairs right up in the top of your nasal canal. And when you smell the molecules of proper essential oils, they go up and they trigger. They're like a little lock and key. And so the amazing thing about that is that it goes through and it connects in the brain memories and emotions, and it releases hormones, and it does all these crazy things, more than what you think. You think, oh, essential oils, they're nice and they smell and well, they're supposed to do something. They are mind-blowingly effective. So they go through the blood and through the body and have different effects physically. But the emotional side of things is just, that's what gets me excited, because there's so much mental health awareness going on right now. We're all needing something. And so these specific essential oils that I've chosen, they do have a huge effect on your emotional state. So yeah, that's to know that all your people are trying it is like, ooh, yes.
Even I've got to say though, like I do want to acknowledge your other products because like I feel like I'm leaving them out if I don't. But and I'm kind of in love with them because I've been using them for at least a couple of years, maybe it is 3 years we've known each other. I have no idea, but it's 2 or 3 years. And what I know is like when I use your cleanser, it's not drying. And I love the smell. When I use your Rosy Glow, moisturizer, even my husband uses all these products as well. They're just beautiful. When I use your clay mask, I take that when I go on holiday, and whoever I'm with, I'm like, let's do a mask. I take it on my retreats, on my beautiful spiritual retreats, and I've given everybody your mask. It is just next level amazing. And the fact that as we're deconditioning and detoxing from the shit in this world, really, as in like all of the plastics and all of the just all of the stuff that's in our food, as we're going kind of more natural. I know that I'm not feeding chemicals into my body. I know you've got a deodorant as well. I've used the deodorant, the massage oils. I use that to massage, but also in my baths. I use that on my children. And everything, even from your panda eyes. I've never ever used product that takes off makeup so efficiently. Even your oil does that. And I was like, I actually, like, I probably shouldn't say this, but I messaged Hayley on holiday one day and I said, Hayley, your lavender moisturizer, I've just used it for my body, for cleansing and for taking off my makeup. What the hell, Hayley? And she goes, I know, Victoria, but I wanted to create a whole lot of products. I know one product works, but I want to create a whole lot. And I was like, oh my God, I could just use their lavender oil for everything. This is a miracle. This works. Does anyone know that they don't need to go and buy fancy makeup removers full of chemicals when this oil works? I was actually blown away. And I was like, oh my God, all I need is this oil. In fact, I love the smells of all of them. So of course I have them all. But I want to also take a moment to say thank you for creating this, because it all started with you. And this is what you've done again. You've come back to you on this journey and you've reinvented yourself. Not that anyone would know. I mean, people like me can tell because we can read the energy of the products and stuff, but you always had your heart there. But of course, we get lost on this journey. You came back to you.
Yeah.
And that is the biggest thing. And I know that other things are going to come about for Hayley Bensimon. I know it. I can feel it. And I know it's more than a product. Well, I know that a lot of, these are things that as well, but I know that there will be modalities. I know there will be connections, and you will be shifting people on a cellular level and with your product, but also with other services. It's definitely in the cards. It's in the signs, and just trusting and leaning back. And I really hope that people that are listening to this can know that if Hayley can do this, if I can do this, if we can do this with children. I hear over and over again, I can't because I'm a mom and I've got a job and I know. I did exactly the same, and so did you. But when you've got this driving force and you're unapologetically, authentically yourself, you know that if you trust, the universe will provide, or God will provide, or the support of the angels will be there, or, the perfect people will come to help you in your business. So thank you for all that you do.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, it's so kind. I think everybody has the ability to follow their passions and their dreams. And just, my advice, I mean, you've just said everything, but don't be so scared about what other people are going to think and say. I think that's the killer, right? Don't worry about sister. Don't worry about cousin. Don't worry about friends having negative. The more you shine, the more you'll get of that. But for sure, if we can do it, anybody can. Yeah,
and us keeping ourselves small is keeping them small. Because look at our husbands. And my husband's been through depression. I've been through depression, right? It's an experience that we've had. And we are happily married with our children, with our businesses, working less and making more. How does it get any better than that? It is possible for everybody. And so we have to go now. But what I'd like to say, Hayley, is where can people find you so they can actually look? What is your website? What is your Facebook? It'll be in the show notes as well, but just for those listening.
Yeah, it's not the most memorable name, even though Victoria says it all the time. So it's Hayley Benseman, and it's hard to get the spelling right. But if you Google www.hayley, Hayley Bensimon, benseman.co.nz, you can find me, you can Google me, you can Facebook me, you can Instagram me, all in the same name, and connect with me. And if you've got any questions, I'm there to help. I'm there to guide you, connect with yourself, just like I have. So please come and give us a follow.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you've got a holistic business and you think that, or you have kind of a salon and you want to sell this stuff, ask Hayley.
yeah, please.
And the other thing I want to say as well is, so what can we expect to see from you in the near future?
I'm going to keep going and stepping into myself even more unapologetically. I'm going to rip myself open even more, find out what I love even more. And the more that I am happy and shining in my own happiness, you're just going to see that flow through into the products. I don't know what I'll create. I don't know where things are going to go, but it's going to be big. And I just want everyone along for the ride. So it's going to be crazy fun. That's all I can say.
Beautiful. Oh, and I love your hand cream, by the way. It's definitely one of my favorites at the moment. I put it on my tattoos. I just smother my tattoos with your Hayley Bensimon hand cream. I hope that's okay.
Yes.
So we're really looking forward to watching you grow even bigger and worldwide for this beautiful business, this beautiful range that you have. I am your biggest fan. And you recycle the bottles. There's a ton of stuff that you can find out about Hayley on her website. She has a blog, and she's also got her Facebook page and Instagram. So go check all of that stuff out. Go and buy some of these products because they're next level. And if you do join Magnificent Mediumship or Mediumship Mastery, you get a bottle of the stuff, the My Blend, for free as a gift. And your life will change. So thank you so much, Hayley. Have a beautiful birthday.
Yes, it's my birthday.
It's your birthday. And we will see you later.
Okay, bye. See you later, guys.
Bye. And that's a wrap for today. Thank you so much for joining the Release Your Blocks podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, I would love to hear from you. So please leave a review and tell me what your favorite takeaway from today was. There is so much more from where this came from. You can also find me at Holistic Energy Shifting on Facebook, where you can find more content, more coaching, and more guidance. Have a grand and glorious day, and I'll see you next time.